When you have big dreams, transfer them to goals. Write them down. It's a dream. If you walk around talking about your goal is to accomplish something and you haven't wrote it down, it's a dream. And they change every night on you because every time you dream, something else comes. But write them down, hold yourself accountable for them, and set goals for yourself. I truly believe that each of my grandchildren and my children could accomplish twice in life what I did. Because all of my grandchildren and children are minimally twice as smart as I am. They're in an environment that has 10 times the information. If they have a smartphone and computer, they have 10 times as much information as I had when I finished graduate school. So there's no earthly reason. And most important lesson I want to depart to them is to read, to read, to read, to read. And try to read 90% nonfiction. The two richest men that I have read about and studied are Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Each one of those men are incredible readers. Bill Gates, in an article I read about him, his private pilot asked him one day when he got on his private plane, worth $15 million at the time, he asked him, why you always have a little bag? What you got in that bag? He just said, books. He said, how many you got in there? He said, 10 or 12. He said, why you carry them? He said, because I read 10 or 12 books a month. The reason people accomplish and acquire at the super high level is directly related to how much they read. If you want to be a conversationalist, if you want to be a successful person, and you decide today that you're going to spend 1 hour a day reading on one subject for a year or two, you can become an expert on that subject because the information is right out there. For example, I talked to a guy one time and I asked him how he became a pilot. He said he was incarcerated in jail, a federal penitentiary. And he decided with a counselor, when he got out, he was going to become a pilot. He told the counselor, he said he was in for 3 years. The counselor bought him 30 books on aeronautics. He said he read said he had nothing but time on his hand, 24 hours a day. He said he read all 30 books one time, and 10 of them he read 2 times. He said when he left, he said he had 5 books on Cessna twin engine planes. Said when he got a book on mechanically repairing Cessnas, he said when he left prison after 2 years, he knew that there were, I think, 4,722 screws in a Cessna plane because he took it apart and put it back together. And that's an extreme case of a person being isolated, but it also tells you, and the big piece of the story was he went to aeronautics school and now he flies commercial private planes. Because, as he said, when he went to school, it was one of the questions they could ask him about flying that he didn't know. And they said, where you been flying? I haven't, I've been reading. There's almost no subject that you want to become proficient and an expert on that you cannot take the computer and a book and become an expert on it. Not just know it, you can become an absolute expert. Why? How can you do that? Number one, 90% of Americans don't read every day. 8 out of 10 of my friends, when I mention the newspaper, what happened in the paper yesterday, day before yesterday, and today, cannot discuss it with me because they don't read. The reason why I insist on it, because my great-great-grandfather was not allowed to read as an enslaved person. He was not allowed to read because they knew, number one, reading can set you free if you're enslaved. If you want to read about a person being incarcerated that was free in his mind. Read the life of Mandela. He sat in the prison for 28 years because he read and he could think outside that prison. He said he wasn't in prison because his mind wasn't there. And he did not allow him to imprison his mind. So reading can take you places that you may not never afford to go. For example, the first time I went to Paris, my friend and I got a book, and we sit down and figured out every place we wanted to go. We figured out what it was going to cost, where we could go and exchange our money, what words we needed to know to get by, all in a book. And anything you want to know today is right there on the computer. So I think in summary, number one, read every day. Don't take anything personal. Don't assume anything. Be honest, love, live, and enjoy life.